Hi guys, welcome to lesson 2-4, solving equations with variables on both sides. Our objective for the day is that I can solve equations with variables on both sides, and I can identify equations that have no solution or are identities. And those are our two vocabulary words. Identity is an equation that is true for every possible value of the variable. No solution is an equation that has no value of the variable that makes it true.
To solve equations with variables on both sides, you can use the properties of equality and inverse operations to write a series of simpler equivalent equations.
All right. Problem number 1 is just simply solving an equation with variables on both sides.
I always start with the smaller variable. 4 is smaller than 7k.
And I do the same thing. We want to try to keep those variables positive if we can. So I always do this. I agree with Ms. Zirzo on this one. Okay, we're going to subtract 2 from both sides of the equation. Now we're just back to solving two-step equations. So we've got 3k is equal to negative 12. Divide both sides by 3. And k is equal to negative 4.
You must show each step working vertically and nice and neat. It is easier for Mr. Bolin and I to help you when you make a mistake or see where you went wrong if we can actually read your work.
All right. Letter B, we've got 5x plus 13 is equal to 2x plus 22. So we're going to start by subtracting 2x from both sides of the equation. So we get 3x plus 13 is equal to 22. Subtract 13 from both sides. And 3x is equal to 9. Divide both sides by 3. X is equal to 3. Letter C, 3x plus 4. So we're going to subtract the 3x from both sides. Again, we're going to try to keep those variables positive when we can. So 4 is equal to 2x minus 10. Add 10 to both sides. 14 is equal to 2x. Divide both sides by 2. And 7 is equal to x. And it definitely does help, guys, to circle your answers when you get them, especially on a test or a quiz where maybe you've got work running into different areas and overlapping. So you just want to make sure you have them identified. All right, now give the bottom 3 a try and pause the video. Come back when you are done. All right, for letter A, we're going to start by subtracting 3k from both sides of the equation. You have a negative 5 remaining. Do not lose that negative sign. Equals 4k minus 21. Add 21 to both sides. 16 is equal to 4k. Divide both sides by 4, and 4 is equal to k, or k is equal to 4. Letter B, you're going to subtract 7y from both sides. You got y plus 9 is equal to 6. Subtract 9 from both sides. Y is equal to negative 3. All right. Letter C is a little different. We've got a negative 4v, so we're going to add 4v to both sides. Again, we want to try to keep those variables positive when we can. So 3 is equal to 14v plus 10. Subtract 10 from both sides of the equation. Negative 7 is equal to 14v. Divide both sides by 14. And v is equal to negative 0.5, or if you leave it as a fraction, make sure you reduce it to negative 1/2. Whether you leave it as fraction or decimal doesn't matter to us, just as long as you have your work correct. All right. Problem number 2, using the equation with variables on both sides. An office manager spent $650 on a new energy-saving copier that will reduce the monthly electric bill for the office from $112 to $88. In how many months will the copier pay for itself? So we're going to define our variable and say that M is equal to the number of months that we are using the copier. So let's just start with, we've got our important information. We've got 112 before. So we've got $112. We've got an equal sign. We got an 88 in there somewhere. And 650's got to be figured in. So it's $112 per month. So 112 times M originally. We want to know when that is going to be equal to our new price, which is $88 for the electric, because we still have to pay every month, plus the cost of the new copier, which is $650. So now we see we have variables on both sides, so we can just go ahead and solve this. 112 minus 88 is equal to 24M. And that equals 650. Divide both sides by 24. And M is equal to 27.08. So we're going to say at approximately, or about, 27 months, the copier is going to pay for itself. So sometime in that 27th month. All right. Brad needs to rent a truck to move out of his house. One company charges a $50 fee to rent the truck plus a $10 cents per mile driven. Another company charges $20 to rent the truck plus 30 cents per mile. All right, so we have 2 separate companies here. We want to know how many miles are the costs going to be equal. So again, we're going to use the variable M, and we're going to say that is miles driven. So we're going to start with the first company. We have 0.1 times the number of miles plus our $50 fee. And that we want to know when that is going to be equal to 30 cents per mile driven, 0.3 times M, plus 20. So now we get our variables to one side, subtract 0.1 from each side, and we get that 50 is equal to 0.2 M plus 20. Subtract 20 from both sides. So 30 is equal to 0.2 M. Divide by 0.2. And we get M is equal to 150 miles. So when you drive 150 miles, the 2 companies will cost exactly the same. And that is a wise tip for packing. Don't pack the dog and the cat in the same box. If you guys could see the look Ms. Zirzo just gave me. All right. Problem number 3, solving an equation with grouping symbols. So if you'll remember when we dealt with distributive property in the multi-step equation, sometimes we could just divide that term out. We cannot do that in this case because we have stuff being distributed on both sides. So we are going to use distributive property and distribute. So 4 times 2y is 8y, 4 times 1 is 4. And that is equal to 2 times y is 2y. And 2 times 13 is 26, and remember it's negative. And now we are back to just the multi-step problems that we're dealing with. So we subtract 2y from both sides. You get 6y plus 4 is equal to negative 26. Subtract 4 from both sides. 6y is equal to negative 30. Divide by 6. And y is equal to negative 5. All right, letter B. Distribute 7 to both sides. You got 28 minus 7x is equal to 3x minus 12. So we're going to add 7x to both sides of the equation. 28 is equal to 10x minus 12. Add 12 to both sides. 40 is equal to 10x. X is equal to 4. Divide both sides by 10. All right, you guys give letters A, B, and C a try, and then come back for the answers. So we distribute the 5 to z and negative 4, so we get 5z minus 4 is equal to 7 times 2z is 14z plus 7. Subtract 5z from both sides of the equation, and negative 20 is going to be equal to 9z plus 7. Subtract 7 from both sides. Negative 27 is equal to 9z. Divide both sides by 9. Z is equal to negative 3. Distribute the 4 times the 2a, so we have 8a minus 4 is equal to negative 10a plus 50. Negative times negative is positive. Add 10a to both sides. 18a minus 4 is equal to 50. Add 4 to both sides. 18a is equal to 54. Divide both sides by 18, and you get a is equal to 3. Letter C, we have 2 times w, which is 4w, minus 6, and then we still have that plus 5, is equal to 3w minus 3. Combine like terms, 4w minus 1 is equal to 3w minus 3. Subtract 3w from both sides. W minus 1 is equal to negative 3. Add 1 to both sides. W is equal to negative 2. All right. Last section of our notes is one that kind of trips you guys up, so you really need to pay attention to what we're saying here and what we're doing. So, identities and equations with no solution. So first of all, let's distribute. We get 12b minus 6 is equal to 6 plus negative 6 plus 12b. So we can go ahead and subtract our b's. So we subtract 12b from both sides, and we get negative 6 is equal to negative 6.
Yes, it is.
That is true. So when you are solving the equation and you come up with one number is equal to another number, and it is true, that is an identity. Now this does not count when you are substituting to check your answers. This is when you are solving it in the first place. If you get that a number is equal to another number and it is true, it is an identity. All right, letter B, we have 2x plus 7 is equal to negative 3 plus 2x. We subtract 2x from both sides. We have 7 is equal to negative 3. That is not true. So therefore, it is no solution. It is only no solution when you get down to a constant is equal to a different constant. All right, now I want you guys to try letters A and B and come back.
Or not.
Or not. So we have m plus 8 is equal to m plus 6. Subtract m from both sides. 8 is equal to 6. That is not true. So it is no solution.
You must write the words no solution.
Yes.
Don't get lazy.
Yes. All right, 2a plus 3 is equal to 1/2 times 6 is 3. 1/2 times 4a is 2a. Subtract 2a from both sides. 3 is equal to 3.
Yes, it is.
So it is an identity.
You must write the word identity because that's your answer.
Yes. All right.
Just for fun, and if I don't have enough grading to do, I'm going to make Zirzo's class hand this in when it's completed.
Okay.
Mr. Bolin will be the nice teacher.
Yep, usually am. All right, so go ahead, rate your level of understanding on this lesson, write down any questions you may have, and make sure you fill out that summary. Tell us what you learned today. All right, and we will see you in class.